The gap between loving your partner and wanting them sexually is not a sign that something is wrong with you or your relationship. It is a normal response to how desire actually works for most women in long-term relationships, and understanding this gap is what allows you to bridge it without forcing anything. I love my husband, but I don't want to have sex with him. If you've ever thought that and immediately felt guilty, confused, or terrified about what it means, I need you to hear something. That gap between loving him and wanting him is not a sign that your marriage is failing. It is not proof that you've fallen out of love, and it is definitely not evidence that something is wrong inside you. But it is a signal, and in the next few minutes, I'm going to explain exactly what that signal means and what to do about it. By the end of this video, you will understand why love and desire are not the same thing, what is actually creating this gap, and how to start bridging it without forcing yourself to feel something you don't. You look at your husband and see a good man, someone you respect and adore. You cannot imagine life without him. But when it comes to sex, something has shifted. You avoid his touch because you don't want what it might lead to, but you do love him. So why doesn't your body match that feeling? I'm Lauren Wolf, registered psychotherapist and sex therapist. I've spent over a decade working with women who feel exactly this way, loving, committed women in stable marriages who cannot understand why desire disappeared. What I've learned is this: the gap between loving and desire is not a malfunction, it's a misunderstanding. I'm going to walk you through 5 reasons love and desire have disconnected, and then show you what actually begins to close the gap. Love and desire do not come from the same place. Love is about attachment, security, and partnership. It grows through reliability and shared history. Desire needs something different. It needs anticipation, space, a little uncertainty. Love says, I know you completely. Desire says, there's still something to discover. In long-term relationships, we feed the love system constantly while starving the desire system completely. You did not stop wanting your husband because you love him too much. You stopped wanting him because love and desire need different things to survive. Women tell me, I love him more than ever. Why don't I want him? Because love is not supposed to create desire automatically. There are parallel tracks, not the same one. Once women understand this, the guilt starts to lift. Think of love and desire like 2 different plants in the same garden. Love is a deep-rooted tree that thrives on consistency and time. Desire is a wildflower that needs sunlight and room to breathe. If you only tend to the tree, the wildflower will not bloom. Not because something is wrong with it, but because it has different needs. Ask yourself, when is the last time I fed my desire system, not my love system? Not an obligatory date night. When is the last time there was genuine anticipation, playfulness, or space for wanting to build? But there is a specific type of desire most women were never taught about. Most women grew up believing desire should be spontaneous. It should just show up out of nowhere like a craving. But research shows that for most women in long-term relationships, desire does not work that way. Most women experience responsive desire. Desire does not show up first. It shows up in response to connection, touch that feels good, conditions that invite arousal. If you are waiting to feel spontaneous desire before engaging with intimacy, you might be waiting forever. Not because desire is gone, but because you are waiting for the wrong kind. Hear me when I say there is nothing wrong with you because you do not feel spontaneous desire. Men do. Women are responsive. So you have responsive desire, and nobody told you what that means. This is one of the most common breakthroughs I see. A woman comes in convinced something is wrong because she never feels like it out of nowhere. Then I explain responsive desire, and years of confusion start to make sense. She doesn't have low desire. She has desire that needs an invitation, and an appealing invitation at that. Spontaneous desire is like feeling hungry out of nowhere. Responsive desire is like walking past a restaurant, smelling something incredible, and then feeling hungry. The hunger is real either way, but one needs a trigger or an invitation. Most women in long-term relationships need the smell of the restaurant. Do I ever feel desire after intimacy has started, even if I did not feel it beforehand? Does my desire tend to follow connection rather than precede it? Have there been times I was not in the mood, but then became engaged once things began? If yes, you have responsive desire, and understanding this changes everything. But even knowing this, something else turns off desire before it ever has a chance to respond. If this is already making something click, subscribe for more. I post every week on desire and intimacy in long-term relationships. Link to book a call is also in the description. Somewhere along the way, your body learned that intimacy comes with a cost. Not a dramatic cost, a subtle one. Maybe it requires managing his mood. Maybe it requires performing enthusiasm that you really don't feel. Maybe saying no comes with consequences, even just having to explain yourself. Over time, these micro costs accumulate. Your nervous system does the math. Intimacy requires me to give up my boundaries, my energy, and my authenticity. So desire withdraws because it's protecting you from a price that has become too high. Your body did not stop wanting your husband. It stopped wanting to pay the cost that intimacy has required. I ask women, what happens before, during, and after intimacy that requires effort? The list always comes. Before, it's getting mentally ready, looking a certain way, overriding tiredness. During, it's performing reactions, not totally able to say what feels good and what doesn't, making sure he's satisfied. And after, it's cleaning off, recovering, managing emotion. That is not connection, that's labor. When intimacy is on the table, does my body relax or tense? After intimacy, do I feel connected or am I relieved it's over? If I say no, can I say it simply or do I have to explain and smooth things over? These answers tell you whether intimacy has become too costly. If it has, that is why desire withdrew. And once intimacy becomes costly, something else makes everything worse. The pressure you feel to want sex is destroying your ability to want it. Every time you think, I should want this, every time you feel guilty for not being in the mood, you add pressure. And pressure is the enemy of desire. Desire needs space and freedom. It needs the genuine option to say no in order to say yes. When you feel obligated, even from inside your own head, desire cannot emerge. It is like trying to relax while someone asks, are you relaxed yet? The monitoring makes it impossible. The more you pressure yourself to want sex, the less capable your body becomes of actually wanting it. Women describe this cycle. It has been 3 weeks. I just need to do it. Then they do it from obligation, they feel disconnected, and that experience confirms that intimacy is a chore. The pressure created the outcome they were trying to avoid. Think of desire like a shy animal. If you chase it, demand it show up, stand there waiting with arms crossed, it runs. But if you create the right conditions and wait without pressure, it approaches on its own. You cannot demand desire into existence. You can only create conditions where it feels safe to emerge. Stop telling yourself you should want sex. Stop keeping a mental countdown of how long it's been. Stop having sex to relieve pressure rather than because you want to. Start giving yourself full permission to not want sex right now. Start treating your lack of desire as information, not a character flaw. And start understanding that reducing pressure is the path back to wanting. So if pressure kills desire, and intimacy has become costly, what actually helps? The solution is not more effort. It is different conditions. You do need to try harder to want your husband. You need to change what wanting him would require. That means reducing the cost of intimacy so your body stops guarding, creating space from pressure so desire has room. And most importantly, being honest. Honest with yourself about what intimacy has been costing you. Eventually, honest with him about what is actually happening. The gap did not form because of something wrong with you. It formed because conditions shifted and nobody adjusted. The path back to wanting your husband does not start with pretending. It starts with telling the truth about why you stopped. Think of your relationship like a house with a room you have both been avoiding. The room where you talk about sex, desire, what is working and what is not. The longer you avoid it, the scarier it becomes. But the room is not the problem, the avoidance is. Walking in and turning on the light is how things start to change. Tonight, do this. Complete this sentence. I love my husband, but I do not want sex because... Write whatever comes up first. Do not edit it. Let yourself be completely honest. Identify which factor resonates the most. Intimacy has become costly. Labor, performance, managing reactions. You have been waiting for spontaneous desire instead of understanding responsive desire. Pressure has made wanting feel impossible. The conditions just do not invite desire anymore. So ask yourself, what is one small thing that would make intimacy feel lighter or safer? Not what would fix everything. One small thing. If I could say no without explaining myself, or if there was more connection before physical touch, something like that. The gap between love and desire does not thrive in silence. Bringing honesty to it, even just with yourself, is what begins to close it. You cannot change what you cannot see. This is where bridging begins. Final thought for today. The gap between loving your husband and wanting him is not proof something is wrong with you. It is proof that desire needs things it has not been getting. Different fuel than love, an understanding of responsive desire, conditions that feel safe, freedom from pressure, and honesty about what is actually happening. You are not malfunctioning. Your desire is waiting for conditions that make sense. In the next video, I challenge the number one thing women are told about lost desire, that it's hormonal. It's not. Watch by clicking the link around this video.